All right, welcome back to the channel. Today, got a good one for you out here at another beautiful field out here at Columbia Academy here in Columbia. Today, we're going to do the Demarini Whisper versus the Louisville Meta. This is obviously the Whisper. Meta's on the ground. So, same format as always. Y'all know the deal. So, let's meet our ballers.
Hi, my name's Chloe Carter, and I'm a graduate from Cascade High School, class of 2025, and I'm one of the ballers, as he introduced. I'm going to be reviewing the Whisper and the Meta today, so we'll see.
Hi, my name's Rudy Cawthorn. I'm a 2025 graduate. I'm going to be swinging the Whisper and the Meta today. I'm the second baller, so let's get this started, I guess.
Sure. All right, so back with Rudy. Still cold, still breezy. Not super happy about that. Sun still not shining. Rain on the way. All right, kiddo. What'd you think? Did it change any from last time?
Yes, it definitely got hotter, and I don't know, it seemed to bounce off more. The first time I hit it, the sound was not very good. Like, I don't know, it sounded weird to me, but it sounds a lot better now, I feel like.
Okay.
And it bounces off a lot harder and more, fly.
All right, so you feel like the ball comes off it pretty hot.
Yeah.
You feel like now that it's broke in a little bit more, the sound's changed a little bit, softened up. That's pretty common. Long sweet spot, short sweet spot.
I didn't hit it really off the end of the bat much, but probably there.
I'd say that's a pretty long sweet spot. That's the entire barrel.
Oh, well. I don't know. I didn't hit it not on the sweet spot.
No, you worked it. You worked it good. You worked the majority of the barrel, I would say. What about feedback?
You can tell when you don't hit it, like if you hit it on the end or like right up in
you
there.
Catch it shallow. All
yeah,
right.
You can definitely feel that, but
it's not bad.
No,
you just notice you mishit it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good though. You want it to have some feedback. All right. Anything else jumping out at you? Like the grip? Hate the grip?
I like the grip. It's kind of thin. I like thin grips though. So.
Okay. All right. Anything else jumping off the page at you?
It is inloaded, more inloaded than I thought, but I said that last time. Like, hold it in the middle, this end would go down more. So
definitely. Okay. So feels inloaded to you. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump over here. We're gonna grab this Meta, get some hacks in with that. It's the sun. A little bit. A little bit. Let's go hit some more.
All right.
Go. Hi.
Hi.
All right, kiddo. So, the Meta. Tell me what you think.
The grip is a little bit thicker than the Whisper, but it's still pretty thin, and I feel like I can get a grip on the bat, and I do like it. It is a little bit inloaded, but not as much. Like, I can still swing it level and do other, well, not level, but I can still swing it just fine. Yeah.
Long sweet spot or short sweet spot?
I think it like that.
Kind of short.
Yeah, kind of short.
Kind of short. Okay. All right. So kind of a short sweet spot. Feedback.
It did. I could feel whenever I missed hit for sure. But whenever I did hit it, it seemed to go pretty far and kind of bounce off. So
when you caught on the screws, you definitely knew it, but definitely felt like a little less forgiving on miss hits.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else jumping out at you?
Not really.
Let me ask you this. Does it feel more end loaded than the Whisper?
I don't think so.
All right. Chloe, come on in here with us. We don't have a Whisper handy. One of us would hold it. Is she in the frame? All right. All right. So do you think, both of you said you thought that both bats were slightly end loaded. Chloe, which one did you think was more end loaded?
The Whisper is definitely more end loaded. You can feel it just holding it with one hand.
Okay, so you felt. All right, so let me ask you this. Which one, Chloe, which one do you like better?
I like the Meta better.
All right. What about you?
I like the Whisper better.
You like the Whisper better. All right. So I'm saying, so since you feel like you like the Meta better, you feel like you hit it better?
Yes.
All right. And you feel like you hit the Whisper better?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us see. So, Chloe, your average with the Meta was 61.1 miles per hour with a max of 63.3. That was with the Meta. With the Whisper, your average was 61.8 mile per hour with a max of 64. So really for you, there's really nothing between either bat. You're cranking both of them and they're right there together. So at the end of the day, whichever one feels better to you, be the one you'd want to go hit with. Now for you, you feel like you hit the Whisper better, huh? All right. So for Rudy, with the Meta, your average was 65.1 mile per hour with a max of 68. Pretty good, especially with as cold as it is. Now, that's another thing, y'all. Understand, if these numbers seem skewed because these are big, strong girls, it is cold, okay? Like, really, probably shouldn't be out here doing this cold. All right, so 65.1, max at 68. With the Whisper, your average was 65.7 with a max of 67. So, honestly, for you, about the same. It just come down to whichever one you liked better. Would they change? Would the bats change some with 1,000 more balls on them? We'll just have to wait and see. But it's cold. These girls need to go. I'm cold. I'm ready to go too. So thank y'all very much for coming out here and braving the elements with me and working with me today. And hopefully we'll get together for another one in the future.
All right, cool.
So we're back with my final thoughts right now. All right. Well, so I guess I got a couple things that I have to kind of speak on before we even talk about the bats. First things first, the Pocket Radar app the other day, I don't know, a week or two ago, I guess, they came out with an update for their app. I didn't really think anything about it. I got the notification. I hit the button. It updated. Well, when I got out there today to shoot this video, I opened up my app and holy cow, like everything in the app was different. And I was sitting and I was trying to figure it out, and just to even get it to where the camera was, where I could view, and it had all kind of stuff that I had to set up. And it kind of sucked because at the same time, Rudy, she had a certain time that she had to leave. So I was kind of pressed for time. And I'm in the process of trying to figure all this out. And I was actually kind of panicking a little bit because I wasn't sure if I was going to get it figured out. And I finally did. And I was in a rush the whole time we were doing it. And it was getting colder as it got later. And it wasn't ideal circumstance, which kind of led to the next screw up in this video. So you'll notice that Chloe hit. And after Chloe hit, I just went right into Rudy hitting with each bat without Chloe, like an exit video where she says what she thinks about each bat. I did video that. I got it, but my little microphone that I use, I guess I just forgot to turn it on. When I handed it to her, she was wearing it. I guess I just forgot to turn it on. So I got no audio with hers. I was in a hurry. I was a little panicked. It really kind of messed up my whole flow of how I normally do things when I was having trouble using the app and I was pressed for time and just several small things kind of going wrong. And it kind of turned into one big thing. Luckily, I did have Rudy's audio, which is ironic because the last video that I did, I lost some of Rudy's audio. But luckily also there at the end, both of them did speak briefly about both bats. So you did still get to hear Chloe's opinion of the bats. Now, to where we are right now, these two guys. So I will say I was surprised. I was actually really surprised by the performance of the Meta. Personally, just from what I've seen, I felt like the Demarini Whisper was going to really outperform the Meta. But as far as exit velocity between these two, now both of these girls, I wouldn't call them power hitters. I would say they really hit more for on base percentage. Probably hit lots of line drives, I'd say. So neither of them really, they don't miss the sweet spot too often. I think if one of them would have been more of a power hitter, probably would have seen a bit more dramatic difference in some of the exit velocities with the Meta. I do still feel like it has a smaller sweet spot. I do still feel like it is more of a contact hitter's bat. If you catch it in here right on the barrel in the center on the screws, it's got nice pop, no doubt. From what I've seen from the Whisper, from my own daughter hitting it, and from the other girls that I've had hitting it, it does seem to have a good long barrel and be pretty forgiving overall. But like I said, I was impressed at the comparison between the two. I really expected the Demarini to be head and shoulders above the Meta, which, you know what? Hey, that's a good thing. You know, I mean, I'm glad that it did better than I expected. Now, I will say, as the Whisper, Rudy commented that the sound had changed since the first time she'd hit the Whisper. And I'll agree, this thing has a nice crack to it now. It's really opened up sound-wise, which is kind of odd. A lot of bats, when they get more balls on them, they tend to get, the more broken in that barrel gets all the way around, the less sound that they tend to have, because they just flex more without busting all that epoxy on the inside. It's already all kind of broke up and flexed. The Meta does still have a nice sound. It performed well. Like I said, I agree with the girls. I think the grip is very similar on each bat. I like the thin grip. I think it definitely gives more feedback and definitely kind of tells, you know, what the design, what your barrel design is like. Both of them have, you know, they're two-piece, so they have the connection joint. So, you know, whatever epoxy, I do know that certain companies use a different epoxy in their joint that helps to transfer or not transfer energy into the grip. I think it's important to have feedback as far, and that's why I always ask the girls, as far as, can you tell if you mishit it or if you catch it on the screws? And if you can tell, what kind of feedback is it? Like if you mishit it, you know, you'll hear me ask them, well, how did it feel to you? Could you tell when you mishit it? So I think you should be able to tell if you mishit it, but it shouldn't hurt. Not unless you hit it right in here or something, and then it's supposed to hurt. You ain't supposed to hit the ball right there. But I want a player to be able to tell if they caught it on the barrel or if they caught it out on the end, or if they caught it a little shallow, just for their own personal, because, you know, they might think, you know, they might have thought a pitch was right across the plate, and then, you know, they hit it and it doesn't really go anywhere, and they're like, well, I thought it was right across the plate. But then if you have video of it, you can go back and look. Well, you caught it way inside. I think that feedback is important to the player for them to help make adjustments, you know, either in game or in practice, you know, if they're maybe getting their hands away from their body too much or things like that. But with all that being said, I thought the video came out well, short of my couple little screw ups that I made. It was cold out there. Honestly, it was supposed to be like 57 and sunny, you know, so I'm thinking it's going to be a beautiful day. Normally, I would not like to be outside with my bats in that kind of cold. I know they're supposed to last, and yes, they are always supposed to last. But you know, when you put these bats out there in the cold, you're kind of not giving them, you know, 100% chance here. You know what I mean? Things do break when it gets cold. They break easier when it gets cold. Now, the way that I combat that is sometimes I'll put them in the floor and kind of turn my heater on and let them warm up a little bit before I go, just that way maybe they're not quite so cold. I mean, you know, as much as your heater in your car is going to do for 5 minutes anyway. But the numbers off both bats were good, even to be that cold. I mean, usually when it's cold, you know, the ball don't travel that great. But the numbers off both bats were good. And I was pleasantly surprised to see how well the Meta performed. And I look forward to making more videos with both of them in the near future. And for those of you asking, and boy, I know there's a groundswell of energy behind it, I will have the Suncoast Backlash. I expect to have it any day now. So we'll get it. We'll get that thing broke in, and we'll put it against every bat that I got. This one. Well, I'll put it against everything because we need to know, right? We need the answers. We need to know if the new kid on the block can get out here and play with the big boys. And if it can, it'll be exciting. I think the competition between the manufacturers is good. When they compete to try to make a better product to beat out each other, we as consumers, we're the ones who benefit from it, because as they fight over who's going to make the better bat, then we get better equipment to use. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you supporting the channel. For those of you that have subbed, thank you so much. I will ask everybody to do a favor. Share this on your personal page. Let everybody that you know that's involved in fast pitch, introduce them to my videos. Help me keep growing the channel. The bigger the channel gets, the easier it becomes for me to buy more bats. Right now, technically the channel has monetized, but let me just go and tell you, it ain't making no money. Not like no money. I just bought the Suncoast Backlash. I want to get the new Rawlings Mantra Plus. That thing looks unbelievable. I'm told it has a completely different layup in the barrel. It's supposed to sound completely different. It's supposed to be a totally revamped stick. Looking forward to get my hands on that and giving it a try too. So got lots of bats, got lots of content on the way. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.